The Davina and Sabrina Show. The Davina and Sabrina Show. The Davina, Sabrina, Davina, These girls have got a lot of sass. Hot topics with a lot of class. The Davina and Sabrina Show. The Davina and Sabrina Show. The Davina, Sabrina, Davina,
So you know the drill, guys. Thanks. Come join us. Bring people joining us. We'll start officially in a few minutes. Just waiting for a few people to come on, but I hope you're all alright.
How was your week?
Hey, Kadisha.
Hello,
Thank you so much for joining us.
Hello, Regine. Lloyd.
Nice, guys. Thank you. So,
for a lot of you, especially those abroad and even some of you in the UK, a new thing has been introduced to the UK. So, they've introduced a 3-tier lockdown system introduced to prevent the spread of COVID-19. So, we in London, we're on tier 2. As I said, we've got 3 tiers. And we have to adhere to certain rules within each tier. So the main rule is that we're not allowed to meet with someone outside our household or support bubble in any indoor setting or public place. Now, Sabrina, what are your thoughts on this new 3-tier system?
well, you know, my thoughts really, but I'll tell you what my thoughts is that it's a load of nonsense. I'm still going to do what I'm going to do. They need to do what they're doing, make the rules, whatever. Like, no one can tell me I'm not, we're allowed to go on the train where there's hundreds of people, but I can't go see my mum, technically. But just so you know, the Davina Sabrina show, we do actually adhere to the rules. So the good thing out of this, I've gained myself a housemate, because technically, if you just came today, that's illegal.
No.
So now, just so you know, she's living with me.
Yeah, we're housemates now. So Boris, we're adhering to the new system, okay?
But the truth is that how are you going to police that? I don't know. But anyway, I've got a new housemate right now, so we're not breaking the rules. But yeah, like, it's a load of whatever. What about you? What do you think?
I just like you. I just think it's so confusing. You can go to the supermarket, hang around other people who a lot of the time aren't wearing masks, yet I can't meet a friend or someone for dinner who's from a different household. It just doesn't make sense. Where is the science, you know, research behind this? I just don't get it. It's just so confusing.
The whole thing, it is what it is. But yes, anyway. Hey, Mrs. Ashman. Hey, Latifa. Welcome. Let's get involved, guys. But yes, but besides that, we actually had a lovely weekend. Anyway, we won't talk too much about the weekend, because the more we talk, the more we might incriminate ourselves. But anyway, it is what it is. But yeah,
but we had a great time over the weekend.
We sure did. Food and all,
and drink.
So who's that? Ray to Ray, thank you.
Hey! That's
Draconian.
Regine.
Hi, Regine. Thank you for joining us. And we've got a really exciting topic today. A fun topic, hopefully. But we'll come to that in a moment. But how has everyone been? Is everyone all right? Are they, you know, what do they think? Your party. So those who just joined us, guys, we actually had a little bit of a music. What we're going to do for those who just joined, let's
Are we going to have a little bit more of a
let's have a bit more of a bit. We've got a bit of time before our guest comes on.
Today.
You're being spoiled today. But like I said, you know, the lyrics are no representation of the Davina and Sabrina show. Just listen to the beat, guys. Let's get the vibes going. That might not be the best.
Tap in.
Hope you're not bubbling. Hopefully.
Tap in.
It's alright.
Tap in,
guys. Tune in. Alright. Just before I get the little vibe going.
A bit of a vibe going on there.
Oh, I know, the lyrics are a little bit but whatever.
Yeah, we're not about that life, as we said. We are not about that life.
No,
but we love the beat. We love the beat.
Cool. I think we'll get started.
Yeah. So, welcome everyone to the next episode of the Davina and
Sabrina show. Woo, woo. Hey, thank you so much for your support, week in, week out, guys. As you know, today's topic is ghosted, gone without a trace.
Ooh, she gone.
Oh, where's she go? She ghosted me. Come back.
She's back.
Poof. Right, guys. So this is a topic we really wanted to do because it's kind of fun. Hopefully, for those who have gotten over their experience and can now probably laugh about it. But ghosting is a real thing. So let's just talk about what ghosting is. Sorry, I've seen all the emojis. That was a bit cheesy, wasn't it? But it is what it is.
We just need a bit of cheese this week.
Little
We've
bit
had
of
quite a
cheese.
few serious weeks, so a bit of cheese. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So ghosting, what is ghosting? Ghosting means, plain and simple, ceasing all contact or communication, whether it's from your partner, friend or individual, without apparent warning or justification. Now, I'm sure loads of us have been ghosted or we are the ghoster, but really we want to find out, have you been ghosted? If you have, how do you feel, or how did you feel then? How do you feel now? This happened to be only once ever. Oh girl, I'm loving the honesty, Mrs. Ashman. Yes, bring it in, bring it in.
Come on,
Because
give your
people
thoughts.
have been ghosted, but also, are you the ghoster, the person who ghosts people? Why do you do it if that's the case? Tell us your story. Do you regret ghosting? Do you now think back and think, oh my God, I shouldn't have done that? Or also, were there any real signs or red flags prior to being you ghosted where now you think, yeah, that was going to happen anyway? So we really want your take on it, and hopefully, like I mentioned, you've gotten over it. We can have a bit of fun with it. I'll be honest, I've been ghosted. We'll talk about that in a moment, but I can laugh about it now because I've just gotten over it. I've rationalized it and so forth. But yes, I've been ghosted as well, and I've done it as well. Nice, love the honesty, no regrets as well. So yeah, have you been ghosted?
Yes. Actually, when we decided to do this topic, I thought I was primarily the ghoster. Obviously, I've been ghosted many a time. But then I watched this video, relationship coach guy, and I'm more of a fallback type of woman. So what I mean by that is if someone, if I'm engaging with, say, the opposite sex, a guy, I like him, and he's not giving me the same sort of energy back in terms of communication, be that calling, texting, I'm going to fall back because I am not running after anyone. So at first I thought that was ghosting, because after some time I'll probably sort of block or delete the person. I haven't got time to waste. But I've realised I'm more of a fallback sort of person. There are some people, if they do something really horrible to me, it will be completely a ghost. But I'm more of a fallback type of person. But then I have been ghosted. And obviously at the time, it is quite heartbreaking because you're like, oh, why do they like me? But I feel like I've grown from it, and if someone does that, you just move on, in my experience anyway. Yeah. What about you?
Well, I definitely have been ghosted, and we've got two guests coming on to talk about their stories and the things around that. If there's time at the end, I will tell you my ghosting story. So if you do want to hear it, please stay right to the end, and I will tell you my story. But generally, yes, I've been ghosted really just once, but it was I really liked this person. And I also knew something, there was no red flags before. There was some sort of warning. It was I just knew it was going to happen. However, have I ghosted people? Not really. I think back in the day, yes, I have done that. But I'm talking about most recent years. No, I don't. So even those that have or the person's ghosted me, I'm the kind of person, you need to give me an explanation. Give me an explanation, and that's fine. Just go about our business. But this whole kind of just no communication, nothing is just it's a bit. And I don't like to lead people on. So if I have, don't get me wrong, I've not spoken to somebody after speaking to them once or going out with them. But what I've done is I've communicated and tell them this is what's going to happen. I'm not interested. I don't like the feeling of just leading people on.
And you deserve an explanation, or anyone deserves an explanation. But usually when I've blocked, they sort of know, they can sort of guess they did X, Y, or Z or whatever. So
So yeah, and we've got here, I've definitely been the ghoster. Just stop and chop. Ooh, yes, stop and chop. Cut them off.
Yeah.
Listen, I mean, I guess this is what we want to find out, guys. Why do you ghost? Okay, so Mrs. Ashman, you've ghosted before. Why? What's? I mean, this is
I agree.
This is juicy. Why have you ghosted? Why not say to that person?
Stop and chop. I'm going to use that term. Stop and chop. I'm block and delete, but that I love.
For anyone else, just the third. Have you been ghosted or have you ghosted? Why? What is it? And do you regret ghosting that person? Some crazy people need to be ghosted.
Yeah, they certainly do.
All right, so that's the reason. That's the rationale.
Yeah, it's true.
Then
100%.
yeah, okay. Some crazies out there, and have had to ghost because they were a hot mess.
Yeah.
Hot mess. Nice. Crazies, hot mess.
Yeah.
These are the reasons why people are ghosting.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right. So because I couldn't be bothered to explain and didn't feel the person
would get it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So sometimes then it's just easier to just poof.
Yeah.
Disappear.
Get on with your life. Next.
Yeah, next.
Yeah.
In line. Okay.
But also, it's not just romantic. It can be friends as well.
It can be friends. It could be friends. It could be family. Obviously, I think the terminology ghosting is associated with relationship or whoever you were attracted to, whatever. But then, yes, friends, family. Yeah. You could ghost them just the same way. So sometimes situation is just too cringe, don't know how to step away. So it's just easier. So we're getting a theme here. Yeah. It's just easier to just...
But do you guys think doing that is being a bit of a coward? Do you think? Like, it's easier, but isn't the most, adult thing to do is just tell the person and get on with it? I'm not saying that's my opinion, but what are your thoughts?
Yeah.
Do you think that's taking the easy way out?
Should we just communicate and say, you're a little bit crazy for me, not really interested?
Yeah. And move on.
I don't know.
Who knows?
But I appreciate it is a little bit easier. And especially, like, you don't owe that person anything, especially if it's just one date you've been on or a couple of conversations. What's the point of emotionally investing so much and give them the explanation and then so I mean, we've all been there, ghosted, ghoster, whatever it may be, but I wasn't mature, so and I don't know, like, I think
if a man is married he might ghost you, who knows? I've heard a few stories about that, not in terms of my experience, but from other people who I've known where they get ghosted because they're married. So just the third says that so she will ghost, she will tell them and then just disappear.
Fair enough. But all right, well, keep it coming, guys. We've got our first guest that's going to come on, going to tell us his story, get involved, ask questions, and just get involved. So,
all right, let's get our first guest on.
Let me get the first person on.
Yeah.
Give me a moment, guys. Right. Our first guest is Lloyd. Welcome back, Lloyd. Welcome back, Lloyd. Yeah. How are
Hello.
you?
I'm fine. How you doing?
You all right? Good.
I'm great.
Good.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you clearly.
It's good.
Fabulous. We can hear you clearly as well. Thank you so much for joining us, Lloyd. You are a great supporter of the Davina and Sabrina show. You've been on before. We wanted you back on because we want to hear some juice. But before we go, not some juice. We also want to hear, like, inside a man's mind, like, what's going on? What's going on, right? So before we go, obviously everyone knows your name. It's Lloyd. Thank you. Welcome to the show. Tell us where you're calling from and tell us what the audience what you do.
So I'm calling from London. And for those that don't know me, I'm Lucky Lloyd. And that's based on running my podcast called Strictly for Men. And it's not strictly for men in that sense. It's just that all our topics will be surrounding men, but everybody's welcome to join at any time. And what was the other question you asked?
So what you do and where you got it from, which you've answered the question. So thank you so much. Brilliant. At the end, we'll get you to plug a little bit more about your show, your podcast. But as you know, Lloyd, ghosted, gone without a trace and all. Tell us first, have you been ghosted? If so, what's the story?
I've been ghosted many times. It's like, it's a part of life to be ghosted on. It's like, it's part of the dating experience. It's part of sometimes people that you might call colleagues or associate that you get at work or whatever you get involved in. I've been ghosted on that sense where once, so if we were doing a program together and then it ends, then it's like, communication is over. It's like there's no relevance for me being in their life, sort of thing. So I've been pushed to one side. So I've been ghosted in so many different ways.
So can I, with a scenario like that, because like if it would it really be ghosted then, unless you wanted more, like you're saying, okay, there was no real reason for us to continue communication. But was there, like, I don't know, with, like you say, with one of your projects that actually you still would have wanted to maybe keep in contact because there might be something in the future and that person just was interested and just did what they did? Is that what happened, or actually there was a mutual ghosting thing going on then? Is that a thing?
I mean, in regards to like, for example, uni, when I went uni and I was doing like my undergrad, when I finished that, before I finished that, I felt like, you know, you get close with your classmates. You think, yeah, like, I like the vibe. Maybe we can continue this outside of uni and stuff like that. But when everybody graduated, it was just, obviously not everybody, but some people, it just went cold real fast. And it was like, you send a message and say, hey, how you doing? What you been up to? And you just get the grey ticks. Sometimes you get one grey tick.
That makes it, that happens a lot though, isn't it? Where it's with work, with studies, and I'm okay. So this is where we're sort of saying that actually ghosting isn't just about relationships or, like, you know, romantic relationship. I do that a lot with work. There's all the intention, oh yes, we'll meet up, or after studies, and the reality, once it's done, you're not really interested anymore. You realize, like, you've just moved on. Yeah, you've moved on, that served this purpose. So all right, I guess that's a good a way of thinking, and I think we've all done that. So what about you have you ghosted anybody?
Oh, yeah.
If so, why? What happened? Tell us the juice. We want to hear. And do you regret it? Yes. Can we make it more relationship related? I wanted some juice.
That's more juicy.
Oh, you want it relationship? Cool. All right.
Yeah, I want to hear you ghosted somebody on a relationship level, or actually, if there isn't any, then just whichever situation.
Okay. I'll start with when I was ghosted on, right? So so there's been many times I've been ghosted on, especially through the dating experience, because it's like, it's just the easiest and softest way to get rejected nowadays. So you just have to move on with the times. But the one that I remember, and this is where I was working in retail, maybe like 5 years, 6 years ago or something like that. And I got to know someone and we were seeing each other and stuff like that. Then all of a sudden, you know, it just went cold. Like, no response, no communication. I knew where she lived, so I went to her house and I knocked on the door and stuff. I saw the light on. The light turned off when I rang the bell. And I was like, what?
Oh, bless. Oh.
I was like, what did I do? Do you get what I mean? I was thinking, what is there something I done wrong? Was it something I said? I was reflecting back of what could have happened, and I was thinking, but I thought we were all right, you know. I thought everything was good. But yeah, and what was more awkward was that we worked in the same place. So it made it more uncomfortable to see her at my workplace. So so I saw her there and I was just so angry because I just thought, we work in the same place. Like, it would be easier if you just gave me an explanation or something. If we didn't work in the same place, I can forget you easily because, you know, I'm not going to see you again, and I can accept the grey ticks. But if I'm seeing you at my workplace and it's just awkward now, and we speak to the same people.
God.
So I didn't like that experience. I felt uncomfortable. It was like a heart. It was like my heart was broken, but I wasn't in love or nothing. But it was painful. It was embarrassing. And
how old were you, Lloyd? How old were you then? Quite young.
Yeah, I would say like
in your 20?
I was like going to late 20s actually.
Okay.
Going to my late 20s. I think maybe like 28 or something like that. So
So just so we could, someone's just commented, they like the brazenness of the girl, but also the determination of you, Lloyd.
Yeah.
Went to the house, the lights went off, you went to work the next day. Obviously, you can't not go work because that pays your bills.
Yeah.
So were there any communication at the work, or she literally just like you just walked past each other, like literally? That's it.
No,
Nada.
I mean, at first it was like I was gonna play. You know what? I'm not gonna speak to her because she's not speaking to me. So why should I speak to her? That sort of thing. Then after I was like, it was just like, but why? But why? But why? It's like it kept going in my head. Like I'm the sort of person when I sleep well. I sleep nice, but I wasn't sleeping well. I'm waking up in the middle of the night going, but why? Like 2 a.m. But why? And it's like, no, I don't like this. And then I find myself doing weird things, driving in the middle of the night past the house, just not knocking on the door, but just driving past the house. And I was like, no, this is creepy. Let me go back home straight because it turns you a little bit mad. And I think the reason why I was doing all that is because it was my first time experiencing it.
Right,
that's proper ghosting, like to the core. So when I experienced that, it wasn't easy to digest. If that was going to happen now, you know, I'd take it easily. Like it's nothing now. But back then, it was like, it was the most strangest thing ever, and it was like an illusion of a heartbreak. But I know I wasn't heartbroken, so it's like, why am I feeling the symptoms of someone that's been heartbroken? But I know I'm not heartbroken. So it was really deep like that.
Do you think, were there some telltale signs leading up to the ghosting, or was it just literally you're okay and then it just happened?
I mean, the only telltale sign I could say now is that she kept a lot to herself, in terms of sometimes she would just daydream, and I'd be like, huh? Are you okay? Are you all right? What are you thinking? Stuff like that. She'd be like, no, nothing, whatever. And that's it. So who knows what she's thinking then? She's probably thinking, oh, how do I get rid of this guy? Oh, man, what do I do? He's such a nice guy. I don't want to break his heart like that. Let me just cut him off nicely. Like, it could be anything like that. Who knows?
But you know what? She did wrong though, because like the fact, like there's one thing ghosting where you're not gonna. The whole point of ghosting is that you don't see them. You ghost. You poof. You vanish. She didn't vanish.
Yeah.
You worked.
She didn't vanish.
That actually, it's wrong to ghost. And well, actually, that's the question: is it wrong to ghost? We'll come to that in a minute. But even more wrong, you're in a workplace. You're not like that. Yeah, that was wrong on her, and I'm sorry, but it's good that you know you seem to have gotten over it. Like you say, it was your first time. It probably is pride and ego more so than anything.
Yeah. It was definitely ego, because I was thinking to myself that I cared a lot. I cared like, oh, did I do something wrong? And then I was questioning myself, oh, how much did you like her? Why are you feeling like this and stuff like that? So later on, I had to come to terms with myself that I don't care why she left. Like, I tell myself, I don't need to know now. The fact is that it wasn't meant to go that, it wasn't meant to be that serious, and it ended up being that serious. And maybe she just felt, nah, I need to stop this for whatever reason. It could, there's an ocean of reasons of why she felt she needs to stop this, and she didn't have time or the energy to now explain to me. And I'd be like, no, but maybe we can work this. Like, maybe that's what she thought I was gonna do, try and persuade her, and maybe I would have persuaded her, because I can become quite convincing if I really need to be. I'm like, no, just give it 2 more months, you know, she don't want all that. Do you get what I mean? She just wants to cut off, she wanted to be efficient and practical and move on quickly, but it's just, she should have quit as well. Quit the job. Like, I'm still there.
She wasn't that practical, was she? She was that practical. She should have quit her job. But that's funny. Well, it's not funny. It's good. You've got on with it. Question: have you ghosted anybody then?
Most definitely. Most definitely. Yes.
Why? What's your story? What was the situation and why? And even more so, do you regret it? Because you know how that feels to be ghosted. You were ghosted. So tell us your ghosted story, and how long ago was it that you ghosted somebody?
Not too long ago, maybe like last month or something.
Okay, so tell us a story.
So I've ghosted so many times, but I think it's a lot to do with the dating game now. The dating game is very it's very tricky, and anyone can ghost on you, and you it's like the reason why I would ghost is mainly because I feel like the person that maybe I've gone on a date with, or I'm getting to know, isn't interested, and she's wasting my time. So I'm like, okay.
So say that again. Did I hear that? She isn't interested in you, or she's not interesting? Sorry, I didn't hear quite.
She's not interested in me, or she might not be interesting. But I wouldn't ghost her if she's not interesting. I probably would still speak to her actually. But if she's not interested, then that's more annoying to me because we're going on dates regularly, but you're not interested in me. So I feel like I'm wasting my time and my money too. So I feel like.
So are you saying that's like a bit of a survival thing? So you ghosted her before she might end up ghosting you? Is that what it is then? Because
I ghosted her because I don't really like my time being wasted, and I felt like she was wasting my time. But I understand why she was wasting my time, because I'm a stranger to her, and she obviously wants to get to know me, and I'm a guy that wants the obvious as well. I will find her attractive, and I will want whatever it is, sex, whatever, right? And if I don't feel or sense no sexual attraction, I'll feel like, well, this is a waste of time. She just wants to talk about herself, or she just wants to talk all the time, and I'm just getting bored. I'm not down for that. Yeah, I want to talk, but I also want sex or touch you or something. You get what I mean? And if I don't get that, I'll feel like, oh, all she wants me to do is take her out on dates. She obviously isn't sexually attracted to me, so I'm out. So I will ghost her based on that. So she might send me. Most times they don't really. They might send me a text saying hi or whatever, but I'll just give them the grey tick.
Oh. Lloyd, but hold on a minute. Do you communicate that? The thing is, okay, so I hear that, and that's fine. Like that's your reason to ghost. But so what I'm hearing is that if there's no sense of sexual thing coming from her because you're a sexual person, you're gonna ghost because you think they're not interested.
Yeah.
But have you thought maybe that's just not like it's not that comfortable for them to be like that straight away? They might actually like you, and they can end up becoming that sexual person that you want, but they're not going to do that straight away. Like, is that like, has that like, have you thought about that, or have you? I mean, have you talked about that at the beginning? Because these ladies, poor ladies, must be thinking, what have I done? I thought they had a good conversation, and all along it was just because there was no sexual vibe coming from them, when actually women don't always
they want to take things slowly.
They don't give off that vibe.
And the thing is, you're 100% right, and there's always that possibility that I might be missing out on something good. But the problem is with the dating game is it's fast paced, and I feel like I could potentially be wasting my time with someone who is already comfortable with me. Because I feel like comfortability is a bit like a connection. You meet someone for the first time, they're instantly connected to you. You get on verbally, and the sexual attraction kind of flows in place, and that's how I like it. And if I feel like there's no sexual attraction and she's not comfortable, I feel like, well, then all she wants is my attention, but I'm not getting nothing out of that, out of this experience anymore. So we're going for a date, but really and truly, I want more than just a conversation. I want to see if there's a connection there. I want to see if there's something more. Do you get what I mean? And
someone just said, slow down, Lloyd. Slow down. Someone said, slow down.
Like,
slow down. But I hear that. Like, I think, you're well in your rights to feel what you want to feel. At the end of the day, if it's working for you, it is, it is what it is. But I would just say, just communicate and actually give it a bit of time, because I don't know, like, it depends what you're really looking for. Are you looking, if you're not looking for something that's serious to settle down, then fair enough. Fine, but if you are, I don't know, could you, like you say, it is what it is. If you miss out, you miss out. There's others. that will come along. But sometimes you might not get that energy straight away. And because actually all part of a relationship, tell me if I'm wrong, is about communicating and talking and getting to know and being comfortable. You know, I think it's knowing how women work. Not all women feel that comfortable straight away, but they could really fancy you. You know,
Yeah.
you could get yourself a freak in the end, and you might miss out that freak.
Yeah, no, no, but it's not. I don't necessarily like expect someone to just jump in my bed like that. It's not about that. It's just there's certain energies that you get from people, and when you're on a date, I like to sense that energy, and it doesn't mean that we're now gonna, you know, you're gonna break boundaries and you're gonna break your own rules and do all this crazy stuff. But when there's a sexual attraction, it's almost subconscious. It's not always something you can control. It's just like, you know, when you read people's body languages and let's just say someone's upset and they try and hide it, but you know they're upset because they do certain things, they're uncomfortable, they fold their arms and stuff like this and they don't know they're doing it. Well, that's how I look at sexual attraction. So I don't judge someone based on them sleeping with me. I just based on the attraction, because if the attraction's there, that's my motivation to continue, you know, to getting to know you, because I know I don't have to worry about being used. I don't have to be get my time wasted, because there are not, obviously not all women do this, but some women just like to go out to have a free meal, or just because they're bored at home and they just want to be appreciated. They just want compliments and taken for dinners and all this sort of stuff. And I've just felt like, to protect myself, there's certain things I need to see, but for me to feel comfortable to see you again. And if I don't see it, then what I do is just ghost, because then I think, and the reason why I don't give an explanation is because I haven't known you long enough to give you one. So I'm like, you're just at that point of time, you're just a number, and you're a replaceable number. But when obviously you pass that threshold, you pass the probation period, then and you get a permanent position, then you are now eligible for notification.
I like your analogy, but it is the reality. It is just a number. It's easier. You don't owe that person anything. So, very quickly, because we'll have to move on to our next guest. Do you actually regret any of the people that you've ghosted? Think back now and think, do you know what, I should have, or do you regret it or not?
Personally, I don't think ghosting is a good thing. And that's my regret is based on that. It's based on the fact that I know it's a bad habit. And to some extent, it is kind of cowardly, because I think the person does deserve an explanation. You should be telling the person, look, this is not quite working the way I expected. I would like to take a step back and stuff like that. Everybody does that. And that's what I try to do now, actually, because it can be quite hurtful. And I just wanted to say that when people get ghosted on, they think it's their fault. And 9 times out of 10, it isn't. It's the person. The person has a problem with themselves or with their own situation, and they just don't trust you enough to tell you, because they're fear of being judged, or they're fear of being having an argument, all this sort of stuff. You know, the list is there. So that's why, you know, most people would just be like, okay, look, let me just, you know, cut them off, because it's the norm now, and there's no accountability. No one's going to chase you and say, oh, why did you do that to her? And, you know, it's not like that. And because everything's online now, our power is in our fingertips. You could just block people easily, and they don't, that's it. No one's going to chase you for it. So in a nutshell, yes, I regret that I've done that, and I can see I've experienced the pain as well. And to lead a good example and to put out positive energy as well, I think it's good to just say, look, I'm not feeling this, and it's time to move on. And that's what I would promote, and that's what I've started doing now.
Good. All right. Well, Lloyd, it's been real interesting. Thank you. It was funny as well. You've put some smiles and some honesty, and it's good that you've just rethought about, you know, what you're going to do moving forward, because you've been on the receiver end, and it's not really nice, is it? But at the same time, it is what it is. So very quickly, do you want to promote, like literally in the next couple of seconds, promote your show? We will put things up, but tell us what you're doing and where people can find you, because you've got your podcast, and just so people that have just joined now, and then let us know, and then we'll move on to the next guest.
Right. So my podcast is called Strictly for Men, but it's open to all audiences, and it's just I just talk about topics surrounding men. So that's why it's strictly for men. It's just mainly for the topics, and it's just to just make us more understood as men, because we've been put in a negative light for a very long time, and I don't think everybody is the same. I think some people are generally quite caring and considerate and nice, and no matter the gender, like whether you're a woman or a man, it shouldn't matter what gender you are. It just matters whether you're nice. So I just like to play myself, put myself in the middle where I can explain, oh, well, this is why men do this, and this is why certain men do that. So that's my stuff. I do that on YouTube. You can find it under Lucky Lloyd as well. And also on this Instagram, it's probably easier if you follow me on the Instagram because my link's there. And then that's it.
Okay. Good.
Right.
We'll post it. We'll get people to follow, and it's a great thing that you're doing out there, because actually I think it is about understanding men's thoughts and so forth, and as well as understanding women's thoughts. But listen, we've got to go. Get on our next episode. But thank you so much. It's been great having you on. Thanks for the support, and I'm sure we'll have you on again at some point. All right.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Right,
Wow,
so that
was
was
really
great. Okay, so we've got to move on to the next guest. So we're just going to bring the next guest on. Thank you very much, Lloyd. Oh, right, 1 second. Okay, whilst we just get the next guest, one moment, I'm just going to read some of those comments. I think it's only acceptable to ghost
message
someone abusing you in your relationship or a date who does something scary or shocking on a date, as they would be anything to explain. So yes, so someone has just said that basically ghosting is acceptable when it's like, I guess, where your life is in potential danger and so forth. Yeah, absolutely, that could be another reason, justifiable reason to ghost. Someone has says that they're using this as a probation period. If you don't pass, you're getting ghosted.
Probation. How long is the probation?
Does that mean that I didn't pass my probation but I got ghosted? Oh Lord. Anyway, it's okay. I'll get a better job. And so bear with me, guys. Just trying to get the person on. Let me read, because we've actually missed lots of messages. Thank you. Keep them coming though. These are funny and actually serious. Honesty as it speak. Thank you. Honest, someone said, in general, ghosting seems immature. Communication is basic adult skill and a sign of basic level of respect. I agree with you. Is that Lizzie Sandra? 100%. Yeah, I agree with you. You know, yeah, great.
Yeah.
No accountability. Yeah. So and thank you. People are loving your loved what you said, Lloyd. So we're just going to bring on our final guest.
Let's have a look.
1 second. Okay, said they would.
Sorry, guys. This is one of the things which can sometimes happen when you're live. Is our guest here? Yes.
Right.
Fantastic.
Just coming on.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
How are you?
How are you?
I can't complain.
Before we get started, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Do you want to tell our listeners your name, what you do, where you're calling from?
Okay, my name is Bobby. I go by Bobby the Experience. I'm a travel and personal trainer from New York City, the States. I'm your neighbor across the pond. Is that what I say? Across the pond?
Yeah.
Across the pond.
Across the pond. Yeah. That's.
And forgive me for my setting. I just finished with another client, so I'm like, you know what? I have to like come somewhere. So I'm in my car right now, just having this conversation with y'all. So I appreciate
that's good. I know you're busy. That's good. Business is doing very, very well. So obviously, you know the topic today, ghosted. We've had a bit of a discussion about that prior. Now, first of all, have you been ghosted? And can you tell us some juicy stories of where you've been ghosted and how you felt?
Of course, as much as my ego would like to say, nah, ain't nobody in their right mind will want to stop talking to me. Of course. You know what? I remember the first time. It was a girl. I was in 8th grade. I might have been the 8th or 7th grade. I was talking to this high schooler. She might have been a sophomore. Oh, she might be tuning in. Who knows? And I remember I had a crush on her. I liked her. We was hanging out. We was kissing. We was going to movies. We was doing things. And then one day, she just would not pick up my phone calls. I wasn't getting. She was answering my text back, and I was crushed. I was crushed. I didn't know what that was. I thought she was just ignoring me. This is around the time. This how long ago it was when Mariah Carey had that song "We Belong Together."
Oh,
Yeah. Oh, my poor little heart. My poor little what? Elementary school? No, junior high school heart. I was like, oh, why she ain't talking to me? And for some reason, every day, every night, that song would play. I was so sad. I used to be laying in my little bed. I had a little twin-size bed at the time. I was about, 13, 14, a little twin-size bed. And I used to just be my little eyes used to be so teared up. I used to be like, she called me.
How old were you? Sorry, I know you said what grade you.
I was about, 13 or 14?
Oh, bless.
I was so sad. I was so sad.
And then how did that play out? Like after that, when she ghosted you, like what happened afterwards?
You know what? She ended up. I forgot. She was dating some guy on the block. Of course, he was older, but I was like, so fast forward now, right? Fast forward. I remembered us linking up again, and I was showing her how to drive. This is years down the road. And I just couldn't get over. I said, you broke my little heart. Like, you broke my little heart. It's like, I didn't realize that, but I was in high school. You was in elementary. I was like, I get it. But in the back of my mind, I'm always going to be hurt. I was like, man, fuck you. But it's cool. It's cool. I mean, I'm not going to sugarcoat. I was like, man, fuck you. I wasn't that, like, arrogant and that, like, parts of me wanted to be like, oh, now you want to be hanging out with me? Oh, now you want me to show you? Get the fuck out of here. But I wasn't raised up that way, so I was like, it is what it is. So,
did she say why? Did she say why when you met up with her?
Like, she tried to play it off like, we was kids and this and that. And I mean, I get it. I was like in elementary school. I didn't really know no better. I mean, look, I was advanced. I wanted to like do shit, but I wasn't like how I am as I got older. Like, I wasn't like my middle of high school, like going into my middle of my freshman year. Like, I was a wild boy in high school. I wasn't nothing like that. I was still testing the waters. I'm like, oh, this is what you're supposed to do. But she played it off. I didn't know. At that time, we didn't even have a name for it. It was like, oh, she didn't want to be bothered, so she didn't want to be bothered. So I was like, it is what it is. I was sad. I was young, and every time I thought about that song to play, I would just be at night. I'm like, well, I was supposed to be with a girlfriend. What happened? I was feeling myself too. I'm like, yeah, I'm in junior high. I got me a high schooler. Yeah, I'm the man.
Yeah, she was a lot older. Yeah, she probably thought you was just some little kid. You'll get over it.
So
yeah.
Sorry, I was going to just move something out of the way. Yeah.
But when was another time? It was. Okay, here we go. I was a little bit older. I might have been 26, and it was this older woman. I always had a thing for older women. And this is right before I met this is right before I fell in love. I was dealing with this older woman, but she was like, her age, she said, we're going to just go with 35. I'm like, okay, she looked young. She looked good for whatever her age was, because she wasn't 35, but she said we're going to go with 35. And the reason she stopped talking to me, I believe, is because she just wanted, a young little stud in her arm. I'm very opinionated. I'm not a lug. I don't just pick things up and put them down. I don't just look good. I'm like, I kind of got a brain on my shoulders. Sometimes I'm fully dumb, but sometimes I got a nice little head on my shoulders. But I think she just wanted like a nice little boy toy and, look cute. Because she used to wake up in the morning and I used to be like, no, you need to see the world. If I had the right mind, I'd be like, are you going to let me see the world? But I used to be like, oh, we can see the world together. I should have played my cards right, but no, I'm like, well, we can do this together. You know, I want to just open my mouth. No, Bobby, you should play that little dumb blonde and let her show you the goddamn world. But she stopped talking to me. She stopped talking to me after, matter of fact, I had a thing for, I'm like, yo, I really like you. You know, I don't want to be a boy toy no more. I think I want to, like, you know, I want to be more serious with you. And, yeah, one day we got into it and I didn't hear from her no more. No more. So twice. Like, I had it twice. It's life. It happens. It happens. You know,
it is life.
Yeah.
I had times I stopped talking to you. I'm like, nah, I ain't talking to you no more. Oh, no.
But you actually liked her. You actually liked her.
She was
you're
like,
old now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so how did you do with
I'm
it?
30. So I'm 30 right now. I was either 26 or 25 at the time. I was 26. I was 25 at the time, and you know, I'm like my older brothers. I'm like, yo, they was like, yo, my brother. So I got my younger brother, my older brother. And they were like, yo, you just so foolish, man. They said, yo, you should just be out there slinging dick and just having the time of your life. But no, you want to be Mr. Love and care and want companionship. And you know what? So it was cool. That was it. It could have been worse. I could have like really fell in love with this lady, and she could have just like totally just. I liked her. Yeah, I saw her more than just like, you know, sex. I saw her more than just pussy. So it was cool.
So on the flip side, just because we want to hear the story before the time goes, but on the flip side, have you ghosted and why?
Yes.
And do you regret it? And tell us that.
That's where the tears come on.
Do I regret?
Now let's talk about have you ghosted. So you've gone through the ghost and you know it's
many chicks. It's many people I stopped talking to. I stopped talking to women I was talking to. I stopped talking to people that like, because I feel like when you're dealing with people just in general, sometimes you don't owe nobody an explanation. I think that's what people like. They like closure. I need closure. I want this. But now, fuck that. Why I gotta give you closure for? You wasn't giving me what I needed. You was just like, whether if you was a friend and you played yourself, I ain't got time for all that. I think I was telling you, Davina, before. I remember I was working at Target some years ago, my early years, and I met this chick, and like she was like tall, she was chocolate, and she was just stacked titties and an ass, and I walked up to her, I'm like, yo, I want to go to the movie. Can I take you out? I'm like, yeah, she seems so nice and cool. So I go pick her up. I picked her up that weekend. So I met her that Monday. I picked her up that Saturday night. We go out to the movies. This is when Kevin Hart's which was it when he was like, all right. Which one was that?
The World Tour, yeah, we know which one.
It was that one. So we go out to the movies. I pick her up, and whoever the girl I met at Target, this was not her. Like, so in New York, like, you know, you got like I have a friend of mine, like, yo, she was like ghetto. Her vernacular, the way she was moving, this and that. I was like, I don't want my women submissive, but like I don't want another nigga like another dude, part of my French. I'm like, yo, you wildin'. So we in the movies and she's up in there, like, yo, this movie funny and yo, we gonna have a good time, yeah. I'm like, oh shit.
Gonna eat you alive, one of your boys. But
here's the funny thing. So I'm sitting on one side with her, right? Then there's some other dude with his girl, but then he has like this whole Napoleon complex. Like he's just some short dude and this chick, and he want to sit there, and we sitting there fussing around for the armrest. She on the other side. It's like it's a whole nother dude sitting on me from the other side. I'm like, I don't know whether to like slap this dude, tell this chick to shut up. I'm like, oh man, this date ain't going right. This date is not going right. So finally, I nudge old boy, and I'm like, yo, he chill out. I'm like, she over there wilding, so I'm like, it's the whole movie. I'm trying to laugh. I'm laughing. We get up. Let's go get a bite to eat. I'm like, all right, whatever. We get in a bite to eat. She's like, I ain't going to see you again, am I? I'm like, nah, we're going to see. But I cannot wait to see you again. What? In my mind, I'm already like, okay, no problem. I can't wait to drop you off. Never again. I can't wait to block you, and I can't wait. That was one occasion.
So you don't regret that one?
Hell fucking no. Hell no. And part of me cursing, like I'm only gonna explain it because like y'all cool people and it's like this is a whole nother audience from the UK. I don't curse just because I feel like I can't express or articulate myself. But if I'm just giving a story, I want to be my honest self. I don't want to sit there and I want to use this. No, I want to be completely who I am. I'm comfortable, so I'm just talking in a comfortable manner. There was a time where, this is why I be telling people, you cannot be dealing with people on the internet, right? So I met a chick that she was just like, follow me on Instagram, look real nice, look real good. I'm like, yo, let's link up. I go pick her up, right? The closer I get, the bigger she got. There's nothing wrong with big girls. Let me rephrase that. There's nothing wrong with big girls. I had some big women in my day. I love them. I used to have some big girls in my day. But it's one thing to be big and to be thick and voluptuous. There's another place to just be all over the place. You're just hanging everywhere. That means you ain't got no love for yourself. You ain't taking care of yourself. I ain't got time to be covered up by you when we're not in the bed. You wildin'. So the closer I got, the bigger she got. She sits in my car and literally my car tilts a little bit. If I would have known any better, I should have just drove on, kept driving. Then she gets in the car, right? Then she has this nasty ass fucking cough. And this is before, if it was COVID days, nah, no, get out. I'm like, nah. It's just, I said, we ain't doing this. We ain't doing this, Bob. So I'm like, look, I'm like, oh, that's good. I said, you want to get some medicine and stuff from the store? She's like, nah, I'm good. So what we doing for the day? I said, let's go get some ice cream. She's like, cool. We put up to the ice cream parlor. I'm like, yo, get online. I'm going to go park the car. As soon as she got out the car, I sped off. I blocked her on IG. I blocked her number. I blocked everything I could block. Because I'm like, yo, you are. Listen, it took me another 5 years to even want to entertain somebody on the internet. I'm like, I'm not doing that. I'm saying, you know what? I'm not doing that. Nope, I need to see you in person. I need to talk to you. Because this internet shit, all these filters, and I'm like, yo,
catfish. Filters. Yeah, catfishing.
I don't have no regrets from that. Now I do remember there was this woman named and I respect her enough. Her name was Wolfie. She was a respectable woman, and she put me on to a lot about myself. She kind of got me on the straight and narrow about how to treat myself as a black man and how to treat my sisters and whatnot. And we had a miscommunication. We definitely had a miscommunication, and we stopped speaking. And I would say that was more or less my pride and my ego. And I called her she was my own personal Erykah Badu. Aww. The stuff I ain't gonna get to, but the stuff we used to do and we used to talk about and we used to practice and whatnot, I was like, oh shit, and we just didn't speak. We just and I feel I should have reached out. I'm not gonna sit there and say I live my life with regrets because everything happens for a reason, but I might have played that scenario out differently. I might have played that scenario out differently, but you take it good with your bad. I'm not the sort of person I don't whether y'all want to call it ghost or not, but if I feel I'm in a situation where things ain't going right and if it's negativity or if it's toxic or whatever the case may be, especially with a woman, because for a man, if it's a guy, you can talk, you could rub me the wrong way. We're gonna handle it like men. We're gonna however we're gonna handle it like two gentlemen. We're gonna walk around the corner, talk it out, then have a beer after, or we're going to take it as far as we need to. With a woman, I mean, there's only but so argument I'm willing to go into. There's only but so much I want to do before it gets nasty, before I'm calling you out your name, before I'm doing this. And you know what? To avoid all that, I'm going.
You're stopping it. You're stopping it before that. Listen, we actually don't have long left to go.
Oh,
people are loving your energy, Bobby, by the way. They're like, who is this guy? He needs his own show. We need to bring you back on. But it's great that you've you've done your thing. The good thing, you're being real, you're being honest while you've done that. But you've also regretted it once. So hopefully
it's funny because I'm dealing with that, and I was a lot of my brother. When I'm about to speak off, one of my brothers log on, they see this, they're gonna be so mad. So, I mean, I experienced love twice in my life, right? Twice in my life, And I left the first, because you know what, you could love somebody, and I know I had that coming. Like, I had to, like, for me to understand how to, I mean, this show was about ghosting, but I don't want to go on a tangent, but for me to understand, like, to, like, not hurt nobody and not take anybody for granted or whatnot, I had to have that done to me, because you know what, I had times where it was somebody that I really fucked over and I hurt, and I kind of disappeared and I went off the map, and you don't understand it until the shoes is another foot.
To you, yeah.
Yeah. So I
think we would have to bring you back on.
We definitely want you back on
to tell us that story. Could we have you back on at some point to tell us that story? Because in about a minute,
it's gonna
if y'all find me worthy,
yeah,
I'm all for it.
You're a PT, you're a personal trainer. Do you want to quickly tell? We'll obviously put your bits in, your information, and for everyone else, I think it's going to cut in a moment. The next show is the 1st of November, but before it cuts out, Bobby, just tell us where people can find you, because people are loving your energy, and we'll have you back on. Where can people find you? Your page, all that stuff.
Well, my Instagram is Bobby the Experience, BobbyTheExperience. I'm a personal trainer in the tri-state area. For those that live in the States, that's New York, Connecticut, New Jersey, Long Island. If you're looking to train, I got you. If anybody else looking to train, or they just looking to, like, get some fitness tips or just some motivational, because I believe in, like,
I'm gonna get
living yourself. Yes, you are. Follow my Instagram. You know, I'm a bit of a free spirit. I feel like, you know, you only get one life to live, and I don't know if
We've
I
got
got
5 seconds.
Before we go. Follow me on Instagram.